life. Good morning, everybody. I'm glad to see a bunch of us hippies are still kicking it this morning. I think I slept like last week. Do I mean really? It's the last time I slept. So, yeah, I'm a happy camper. I did check out a few things, not my usual lately. With the solar eclipse going on and people going a little crazy about that. Not sure why. Uh, actually, I don't have nails. I don't. I'm barely put together. I really am. I apologize. I have two cats that are. I've said before, staying with us is a favor to a friend, and they did not have them neutered like ours, so they go into heat, which has been a lot of fun for a couple days. I love the girl. She's the same age as my grandson, pretty much. So I mean, and I've known her almost a decade. So since she was a younger young lady, now she's catching on. Bless her. She's still working two shifts a day, so she'll have her apartment, her new one, pretty soon. Regardless, I hope she keeps the boy out of her life. That had to suck. I mean, well, I know it does. I've been there, done that. And still not sure when I open my door if I'll find that again. Let's see here. We're getting a little trouble here with probably hearing me because I sound light in my own ears, but they're old ears, so it's possible I'm not speaking lightly. So the IDF pulled out of the southern part of Gaza. Bear in mind, people, they didn't say they quit. They didn't say the war was won. They didn't say nothing of the sort. They said they had already conquered that area. They're pulling their troops out, trying to get the civilians down there so they'll be safe. But they know there's still 4 to 5 battalions left on the Gaza Strip of Hamas. And if they don't take them out, even if they take them all out, these guys start their kids training at like 5. It's like in our history, when did the Knights start training? Around 5, 6, yeah. So that by the time they were 13, 14, they could put that armor on, they could swing that sword. Technically, any sports person also starts around 5 to 10 years old, myself included, gymnasts and karate and so forth. I started all those between the ages of, I will go with 9 to 13 on my case. The nuns were basically getting us back all the time as an orphan. Those babies were ruthless with a ruler. You glanced down a window, you got that. It was a whack, 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 whack. Those nuns were bored. I really think they were. So I hope everybody's been enjoying the solar eclipse. I see. I was watching. There's so much strange weather going on. I don't know which way to turn. I said already, the camel floating by, I still, as you can tell, I can't get rid of that image. The camel floating by, a camel floating. You've seen everything when you've seen a camel. What else could there be? Oh, and then the locust head. So, yeah, apparently there's more. Um, I was like, okay, so this video I caught. And I don't drop these videos. If you want to see them, let me know. I'll pull them up and I'll drop them in for you. Otherwise, it's like plagiarism to me. I want people to chat with me. I want y'all to talk to me. I got live stream on again today. So if y'all would come on, throw some love at me, give me a like, maybe subscribe. It's free. Tickle that bell. All that stuff is, as they say, part of the algorithms. And I can't do that without you. And I don't want to do it without you. And really, the whole thing to me, and yes, I'm fidgeting. You guys know I fidget. It's an old word. It may not still be in the lexicon of what we used to call the dictionary. I just call it Google now. So that's Pixie. She is a brave one, and Pixie. And then I gotta do you guys, and while I'm taking care of everything else. And of course, we now on YouTube have commercials. They want us to go premium, which costs like every other channel now. It used to be all one, and you paid $6 for cable, and then satellite came out, and it was $25 for satellite. And then they found out, well, hey, we can charge them to rent the remote. We can charge them to rent the modem. We can. The modem. So yeah, it's that. And I had DirecTV my husband and I did when we were living out in the country, and they didn't have cable there, so we did get DirecTV. It was $25.99 straight for a month. We had it nearly a decade. $25.99 didn't change. We moved further down south of Georgia, and suddenly it was $500 to install a new dish, and it was $200 a month. They were like, no. So, and this is when we're both working. Basically, Robert's always worked two jobs. He works his butt off. And at that time, I believe I was also working two jobs. So I didn't work two jobs just to pay those idiots. I worked two jobs so I could go hang out at the water park. I was still young enough to climb the stairs. Don't you do it. Now she's at the water. She kicks my butt. I swear to God, this cat is like me. She wants to see how far she can push it. And I got to admit, I do the same thing. So, well, coming back to, I get sidetracked. I'm sorry. Again, forgive me. I did not get to edit last night. So I had a two-parter with me trying to clean up coffee in the middle. So I beg your forgiveness on that one. Hopefully that, since it's for entertainment purposes only, you found that funny. Personally, I didn't. Not much anyway. Get down. Get down. Pixie, get down. Well, she is so stubborn. She's me in cat form. She really is. So we have a lot of cats in the house, as you can see, as they come and go. And my poor husband, we feed a lot of animals. And being in a fixed income, you don't get that money back. You can't afford to spend that money. And he had been at work up until this year, even though he first was disabled because he fought the stage 4 cancer. And then he beat that, bless his heart. I don't know how. I mean, I worked in the behind the medical fields for all my life, literally, up until a few years ago. And stage 4 was hospice. And they sent hospice the same week that they diagnosed him. So I and you can't fall apart because you're the only caregiver. You've got kids, and they do the best they can to come because of the grandkids. You know what the grandkids to do, but he really did a good job. I went through it twice. I had 6 surgeries, and actually I had a seventh surgery um, because it was in a spot that most women have to deal with at some point. And I had a lot of damage from having my son. And he was early. We had just got to Germany. Excuse me. And so I didn't think too much about it, except that I bled for a month or so. And apparently, being in Germany, they just didn't deal with Americans very well. So that began to start a problem with me. So I had to have surgery then too. And I didn't want my son and my daughter to worry, or my husband who was working, as a truck driver. They're basically on 24/7. I don't know when they sleep because I used to go. This is why I quit. When I went, he would stop and get a hotel room, and we'd go out, check out the area stuff. I had a blast. But he made sure, and his boss did too, that he had plenty of money in his pocket and we could run around. And this was, of course, after bills are paid. So we're not one of those couples that say, let's save our money because we're going to give it and our house to our kids. Our kids have houses. They want money. They can work for it like we did. We didn't get crap from our parents. In my case, you could call parents. Yeah, well, you could. Yeah, no, I can't really wrap my head around a term that would actually describe the experience of living with someone from 9 to 17. It's For me, it was always in a book, at a journal, at a library, or a function at the school, or working. I was a bus girl at 12 years old, so yeah, I mean, it was the only way you could buy anything. You got clothes twice a year, summer and winter. Even my husband was the same way. And you had play clothes, which was last year's clothes. So you didn't have a wardrobe change. You didn't have 5 things. You had to make 2 things look like 5 things. So we got really good at that. So, and when my parents passed, of course, he left it. I'm going to move that a little bit. He left it to my mother. And my mother, when she passed, left it all to my brother. Of course, my sister went through and did some wonderful things with my stuff. I believe they call that a bonfire. Just saying. So, yeah. that's been fun to deal with. But just in case any adoptees are out there, don't look. And if they find you, don't go. So what I was talking about earlier was the fact that I've been seeing strange weather phenomena with the camels floating by and all kinds of stuff. I mean, we're getting earthquakes, diverse earthquakes, if you want to quote the Bible, everywhere. Taiwan, Japan, China, the United States. I lost track after that because I've had, like I said, excuse me, but I've been really nursing. My husband and I are nursing two cats at the same time as we're trying to take care of the others, plus the outdoor cats. And it's been, plus the extra two cats from my friend. And they have finally, intercourse with everything else. So that's been good. But we've had no sleep for a couple of days now. So forgive me when I ramble. But what I saw yesterday was interesting on video because I was kind of stuck nursing the cat. So I just went to my room and held out on the bed. There's more room to put stuff. But these guys are running in and they're in their underwear. And I think, I'm not sure. I could be shorts. I don't know. If they kept running in and out. And there's this one spot. And I've seen this. I've seen it rain on the other side of the sidewalk, not the one you're on. So, but the whole sidewalk, not just the spot. This had a cone-like effect, and it just kept raining, and it was stop. It was like a standing under a shower and turning it on and turning it on and turning it on, turning it off, turning it on. And these guys were jumping. I don't blame them. Saudi Arabia. It was like 150 out there, so they're jumping in and out of this spout or rain spout. I don't know what the heck you would actually deem it. And my sinuses are driving me crazy. I think I had my medicine here, but I took it back. We have an asthmatic cat, and we found out that the tip of her tail, which is the one we call Gray Ghost, the new one, um, they tried to cut it off because that's where her transistor was. So they got rid of this cat because they had health problems. And we have spent $300 on things we can't afford, but a life is a life. And if God gives us the money, we'll do without food, but they'll be fed and they'll be healthy and they'll be taken care of because God brought them to us for some reason. I know no other reason. And I do wish God would stop. We've got enough and we have found a place that will help us. So I'm hoping by the end of the summer that we have all of the ones outside placed. Of course, the ones we have inside, they're not going anywhere because they would have a real problem if we moved them. So, I have a routine. Excuse me again. But I did love that, watching them jump in and out of that shower. This is Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia. That's where I saw the camels float. You know, I don't know if anybody else, I saw other interesting thing. If anybody likes history and so forth, Turkmenistan. Oh my God. It looks like Dubai. Looks kind of. It is amazing. It looks like it was done in the 23rd century, not in the 19th or the 20th or early 21st century. This is an amazing place, and you're not allowed to actually film, and they don't let people come in and film and show the world. I wouldn't either. It's a beautiful place. Had no clue. But it reminded me of Dubai, which reminded me of the shower that was, literally, this was in a 2 foot space, maybe, and it would rain in that 2 foot space for like 20, 30 seconds, and they would run under it, and then it would stop. And then it would start, and it was. I don't know how long it went on because the video stopped, and we didn't get much information other than that it was Saudi Arabia, and it was the desert. They were in the desert, which would kind of explain the underwear. So, so I see a lot of my guys that I subscribe to several paranormal and like the Y Files. I like the Y Files with Hecklefish because he investigates certain things. And again, I hate to drop anybody else's stuff. If you want to know, just go on over to their channel. It's called the Y Files, and they spell it, I think, WH Files, but it's in red. If it says Files, pull it up. It's probably them. He kind of floats down under his chair, and he's got his little goldfish with the aluminum hat over the over the tank. and that's his heckle fish. So that's who heckles him. It is so cute a gimmick. It really is. And of course, stuff is flying off the shelves. I'm even tempted to buy one of Hecklefish because it's just adorable. He's got the little hat on, his little stuffed toy. Maybe one of the t-shirts. One of my favorite places to go, and AJ is basically like me. He's talking. He might drop a few things. He might just talk. Usually he'll drop some in. I might start doing that. Those of you who know me and who I've tried to tell, again, it's free to pull up YouTube and download it and then put in a password. Just be careful and not use YouTube Premium because that you will pay for. And it's just like they're trying to do. Most of us knocked off satellite. That's why I had started earlier with the 25.99 for a decade, and then it shot to almost 250. And at the time, cable was 60 at the same time as they was 250. It's crazy. Then cable, we had it down here too at 200 something a month. My son had signed this up, so it's a 2-year contract. We could get out of it as soon as we could. I switched to cable at half price, except that I had automatic payments so that they could just take it from the bank. I deduct it. That's not what they did. They would increase the bill by $20 every month, or at least 10 every month. So finally, after I had to take away the auto payment because they also took 2 payments in a row at one time. Did they give that back? No, they applied that to next month. So here you're short that month to pay bills, and they don't seem to understand fixed income. So I turned everything off, but streaming Wi-Fi, whole home Wi-Fi, which is working fairly well, and I'm staying under $100. How I don't know, basically because I call a bitch every 6 months. So because seriously, they don't need to spend. They do not need to get $200, $300 per household to let you see television. They got everybody addicted to television. They got everybody addicted to the internet. Everybody's like this. I'm not. If the freaking phone rings, I answered that bitch. Otherwise, it's just a piece of plastic. I don't know what they would do if an EMP pulse hit everything. EMP, electromagnetic pulse, would fry everything. And you couldn't fix it. It's just gone. You must throw it away and hope they still make a few more and that they were protected because otherwise everything's gone. Everything is electric will be fried. And they say the 27 species, different species I don't know, people, humanoid, EVs, ET, whatever you want to call them, are living on our planet, in our mountains, underwater, etc. Now, government's known that since the 40s. Dwight Eisenhower, I'm sorry, President and General, and I think he's one of the only ones to get a 5 star. In any event, he didn't run a second term, and there was a reason why. And if you look at the footage, you'll see that he didn't run again because he told you don't let the police be militarized. Well, we went way past that. The police been militarized. You can't even see them with their eyes. They look like those little terrorists right around with the little black hoods on. They got the whole thing going on. Yeah, I love that. And then, of course, they militarized the IRS. They need our 2250 because somebody's going to space for something. We're paying for that too. Or we're buying Hellfire missiles for the Ukraine. Yeah, I didn't vote for none of that shit. I don't know if any of you did, but this hippie didn't. If I was going to buy some of them, I'd probably send them to DC. Straighten that shit out at one time. But again, on the war fronts, both Ukraine is still losing. I don't think they can win. And if everybody checks their history and knows anything about the Ukraine, they've been part of Russia for millennia. Yeah, I understand they want to be a democracy, but Russia isn't what it used to be either. It's close to a democracy. I think it's closer to democracy than we ourselves are anymore. We're more of a republic. I don't know what the heck we are anymore. And I served my country. I still love my country. I hate the people running it, but I love my country. And apparently everybody else does till they get here, and then they want to change shit. I love that. What's the headscarf wearing Omar? The B word. Yeah, she gets up there all the time, and she's with her little finger pointing at stuff that we need to change. Bitch, I will put you on a plane and wait till it gets over Pakistan, hand you your little head to foot, whatever that thing is, and shove you out the plane and tell you to pull that cord when you get far enough down. You don't have the right to come to my country and change nothing. You want to be in my country? Then you need to accept why you came here and you need to respect the people and the laws that govern this country. If you don't, if you up and somebody put her in Congress, for God's sake, why? That's another one I can't get. There's, it's like seriously, if you're getting up on the congressional floor and everybody else is wrong and you're right, we should do all this and do all that for all these people. Why the hell are you here? Why didn't you try that in your damn country? Oh, I know, because they would beat you, rape you, and then kill you finally. Yeah. Sometimes it's by stoning, sometimes by hanging, sometimes beheading. Depends on the country. But they're going to come up here and sit in my Congress and tell me what to do. Oh, no, they ain't. Oh, no, they did not. It's a good thing I'm an old woman. It's really good and Bart. That stuff costs money if you want to go down there. But when I worked in DC, and yeah, that was many years ago, many, many moons ago. But by God, you were respectful. You were respectful of our laws and our country if you served in Congress. And I knew many who served. I had a favorite senator that used to go to Watergate. He'd always buy my drinks. And he was always wondering, you got to get out of here, they'll shoot you. He wasn't wrong. You can't, there's certain questions you can't point out or ask or gloss over, or whatever you want to call that. So you want to walk softly if you do live in DC and work in DC. I actually lived in Maryland at Chevy Chase, where supposed uh, we'll put it associate of the Clintons shot himself twice in the head because he committed suicide at Rock Park, where I used to take my son. I had just moved from there when that happened. It's kind of good suicide. Shoot you, double tap that shit. You're not going nowhere. Sure, it was suicide. Anybody look? I think once I saw a list for 96 people that died under mysterious circumstances, while the Clintons were busy ripping off the planet. They still are. Why? I don't know. You can go from being a governor to the president to retired and then throw a $4 million wedding for your only child. It's good to be the king. You want that money? Well, there's a fund over here. They call it Social Security, but nobody's using it. Yeah. When are they going to give us our unemployment back? Has anybody been unemployed? Caught unemployment for, actually got a check? I haven't ever. So all that unemployment they got out there, thousands of dollars. Did they think that might help me? Do they think I might like 90% of my money back? Keep the 10%. I'm good. No, they ain't gonna do that. It's your money. They don't spend that shit. That's how it's in the trillions. When Trump left, we were not in debt. We didn't pay who to come up with new China viruses to hit us with. We didn't pay the UN more than all the other countries put together to do nothing. Pixies want to visit. Get down. So yeah, I'm bouncing around. So I've seen all this stuff and it's made me angry again. And you have to go down. Go on, go in your chair. There you go. Generally, I don't throw them out a window, but it's tempting. So, I'm trying to chill because my husband thought I don't know why, already done my podcast this morning. So, and I can't seem to catch up per day, let alone trying to get my studio ready at the same time. I mean, at this age, and with my infirmities, my back is really a problem. So I can get one or two things or one or two rooms clean, maybe three. Not clean in my younger days. That was near clean. Each room would be swept, mopped, waxed, and dusted, and all the above. And I can't do that anymore. My husband does what he can. Like right now, we have our backyard grows differently than our front yard. So in the back, I have dandelions that reach my hip. I kid you not, you can't make this up. And the front looks like we just mowed yesterday. So yeah, so I'm hoping he can get out there and take care of that. The most of the greenhouse has been taken apart. I think he's trying to rebuild it for me because he still had parts from the second one that he grabbed. Maybe he realized that one was going to go. I don't know. But I have a temporary one, and we saved as many as we could, both the cats and the plants, because they had to have somewhere to. I have no idea. My husband's messaging me now. So, and again, as soon as I get up here, I put my glasses on, my eyes go, and so does my nose. So I'm loving today. I've only got 25 on my cast this morning. I did, again, not have a chance to edit, do anything. I've not dropped it on Facebook. So I don't know if anyone else needs any information, but I'll try to get to that this afternoon. My first priority is going to be doing something with the house because it's a disaster. It's rained out here, so every time you walk out back in or walk out back, you're just tracking things up. And I love my hardwood floor because it's 100 times easier to clean and fast to clean it. I still have a lot to do, a lot. Um, so I'm trying to think besides my own plans, what else was going on that I was wanting to talk about, and I can't recall what it was now. But the guy used to be an actor, Harvard Howard Nuts. I can't remember his name now, but he's become very involved in physics and so forth. And you lose me if you put one and one together. I laughed. I don't do the math thing. No history, but uh, I, paranormal. Those are my things. I'll jump in there. I will jump into current events. Just to go, really? They did it again? Yeah, and every year I think, okay, they're not going to steal $500 million this month from the people, but somehow they get $500 million. Where's the money coming from? Why are these people giving them money? Why? What's the thing? Now, when I lived in DC, I went to two of those $1,000 plate dinners, and it was the most horrible food I've ever had in my life. And I ate sea rations when I was in boot camp, so you can imagine this stuff was not great. So that was always fun. But I went to and I was bored stiff. It's like you're stuck. You can't, because there's another boring speaker and another, and none of them seem to make no sense whatsoever. Literally, you're like, where does he work? What was he talking about? Yeah. And yet, my mother-in-law would, uh, if you wouldn't believe it, I'll give an example. My son wanted to go to McDonald's, and she wouldn't be seen dead at McDonald's, so she would put on this big floppy hat because she loved her grandbaby, and these big glasses, and she would hide. And she got up there, and so she wouldn't go in. But she did go take him twice too, only twice, in a disguise. I thought that was hysterically funny. I mean, literally, I laughed till I cried, and that was in line because he had to have a Happy Meal. Happy Meals had just come out. It was about three, I think. So, and mom worked hard, and my mother-in-law worked hard. So, putting that food stamp program together, getting them out, making a system that will know you, recognize you, do all of this stuff. And it was fascinating work. It really was. But you couldn't live in D.C. You couldn't live in D.C. It was bad enough in Maryland and Chevy Chase. I mean, it was thousands of dollars just to park your car. If you did have a place, she had a condo, so and she had a car, so you had to pay a couple $1,000 to use the garage. Like, what? I took mass transit until she had a fit, found out, and said, wait for her, because I went in earlier and I got out earlier. She did the 9 to 5, and I did the 6 to 2. So, set things up, get printers ready, just, because like I said, I don't know if kids even remember, but back in the day, food stamps looked like monopoly money. That's what we called it. But you still had that system in place, so you had to print these out and get them to the right people. And it, at first it was a little rocky, but it got together before I left. So that was always fun, but you can't live there. It's too expensive. And I don't know if everybody understands things, but there's 3 places in our continents that are not part of the country that surrounds them. That would be Washington, District of Columbia, which is your political arm. That would be London, all of London. Yeah, they're not part of Britain. London is not, it's its own country. And there's your money. And then who would be next? It would be the Vatican, of course, for religious affairs. God wonder what the hell is under that 52 miles of stuff they keep from us. Wouldn't you like to know? I like Billy Carson. He runs out to Egypt, takes a tour with, he takes a bunch of people with him and gets in to see places that most people don't because you're going to have to come off some change. That hasn't changed. But there's a lot. Eric, that have followed in Eric Von Daniken's uh, footprints. And I just adore Eric Von Daniken. They gave him so much stuff about that first book that he wrote, and I have the first edition of the book. And he has said this and he said that. He didn't. What he did was put in, I think it was 171 questions or something along that line, but everything was a question. He didn't say, this is the fact. And he was the only one that realized that we had these megalithic monuments across all of the continents, which bespoke that they did interact. It's like you have a car from Tokyo and you have a car from Ford. They're both cars, right? They're both cars, but they aren't going to look anything alike. And they're from two separate countries. So it'd be still easy to think it's the same country. So it's the same thing with everything that we're finding now. And things have been hid from us for some time. After you got out of the religious persecution, death by fire, you know, Salem witches, whatever. They wanted their land. So they let these kids do this to these old women and took their stuff. Plus a few people burning. You know, the Vatican has waded in blood up to its neck for millennia. One of the most, literally, probably have spilt the most blood in the world would be the Catholic Church. Look it up. Throw something live chat later on. Throw something in. I'll send you a good link. Billy Carson's a good one. Touch on that. Do your own research. Whatever any of us say, that doesn't mean we're smarter than you are, or that the person we got the information was smarter than us, or that they were right or wrong. That's a decision you have to make on your own when you get that information. And you get that information here, you get it over here, you check out what they got over there. You don't just instantly go, okay, this is what it means. And I watched the thing on the flat earthers again today, and I'm like, oh God, you know, between that and the Mandela effect, I don't blooming know if I'm still on the same planet. It could be Mars. I don't care. I'm tired. I just worry about having the house clean and making sure the cats have food. And my husband, he's now actually home and retired with the forest out back to take care of and other things. So he's not like a retirement at all. Nobody's paying him to do that stuff. I can also say that older people, and we are older people, probably ought to stick with a small place or someone that manicures it or an apartment or things like this because it becomes too difficult to keep up with everything. There's not enough time in the day when you're old and tired and, have been beat to death for 60, 70 years. It's difficult to get out there and start that lawnmower, you know. It just is. And in this particular time period or epoch or era, however you want to discuss that, the children are not honoring the parents. And this was foretold as well. I always say chicks the box for Revelation, technically, and what Jesus said would happen to give you signs that God would be at the gate, and that no one knew when Revelation would start, not even him. Only the Father would know. And he was a master. Jesus was Yeshua Bar Yosef. He was a master. Now, that could have been Buddha, that could have been Muhammad. There are many, many, many masters that have been here. I do believe that there's only a few, however, that continue to be remembered as a kind of straight from this particular date to now. You could throw the Dalai Lama in, the Buddha in, Yeshua Barhosa, and Muhammad definitely in that 2,000 year time. You could also throw your Old Testament, which covers up to, I think, 4,000 years, which is really the Torah of Israel. So it's amazing to go through, and the Dead Sea Scrolls and the Nag Hammadi Scrolls. It's just so much out there. You the Julian calendar, the Gregorian calendar. What's up with the calendars? What if what the hell? Pick a day, stick with it. Then there's 6 more. It's not hard. It's not big. It's not rocket science. Not that we've got that down anymore either. Even in front of Congress, they're going. So what's next? What's next? The guy couldn't answer. He kept, doing its double speak. And the guy goes, next, next, next. It's a simple word. It said one word. What's next? He said, oh, you mean what we're going to do next now? The guy said, that's what the word still meant was next. By that point, it was PR. The guy said, Mars. And we're all going, why? Well, we've seen those pictures. They messed them all up. I love that he sent the Voyager to fly back over it at a different time period, and that's why it looked all smushy. Now, Voyager didn't have a turnaround look. It just sailed on out. I'm going to end this lamp at some point. I really am. I don't know why it's doing that, but it's always done it. And it's one of the paranormal things that usually go in. Yes, I have my vape. I'm trying to be nice today. I see. My husband sent me another pop up. Um, he's trying to find me a curio cabinet so I can get rid of the shelving behind us, which I've used for 30 years to put my ceramics on. But the cats think it's part of the Kitty 500 now, so I need a new one. Ah, oh boy. If I weren't so tired, I'd do this faster. I'm just that tired. Mm. Back in the day, a couple hours sleep was all I needed. Now I get a couple hours sleep and I can't open my eyes for 4 days. And of course, right now, like I said, the pollen is through the roof. I checked it this morning and they were saying already, those who have allergies, stay home. Don't try not to get out there. Well, I'm usually good about that, but then I also have the kittens outside to feed. And so when I go out and I come back, I bring all the pollen with me. I mean, I'm covered. Maybe when the grass gets taken care of it, that stuff gets done. Um, and plus, my husband's in and out of, he doesn't feel good. Both of us. I think, well, I know the food's poisoned, but that's a topic for another time. Again, anything you guys want to talk about, this is why I call it the social Woodstock. I know we're out there. I know we want to talk about this shit. Why can't we do that while it's still free? Before we're censored. And we're censored now. This past we were in the 50s, just a different way. I don't want to get in that one either because, I just don't deal with the helicopters today. These Black Hawks are everywhere. I don't want to bother them today. And I apologize again for my appearance. I kind of just threw on whatever I had. I didn't even do my nails. That's unlike me. So I've got all this stuff to do, and I can't have in my head. I have like 15 thoughts going, but none of them are cohesive. Yeah, that's what I'm in my head. That's what I'm doing. The screamer. I like the screamer. That one's always fun to have run around. I know you guys may not understand what I mean. I actually saw a show called Her. It was Herman's Head, and get down. That's one of the ones for taking care of it. They get around. Um, in any event, and it was just a little sitcom, and I was so surprised it didn't catch on. It was like different people were different things. So Anger was this older guy who was just angry all the time, and the good guy was portrayed by a girl who was back behind the scenes, in his head, and wouldn't let him fight and so forth and so on. I mean, but each like anger, love, each emotion that you have. was represented by a person. And that's the way I feel mine is. It's like four of them are fighting just to let me talk. It's been kind of a week. And I've got, no, I've got this one on my new Chromebook. Nah, I don't want to spray them because they hid for days. Get back. They don't want to see you. He's grinning. She rather is grinning and hanging over the top of the screen, but you really can't see her. So I'm in labor breathing. I mean, like I said, they hid for the first week. This is now their second week, and their mommy took one of our babies, and then the ex fiance left his bred animal was a couple $1,000. So I'm surprised he did that. I think he's part Bengal. They're all cute. And but again, so the one is the sister to the one that's always up here, Pixie, that I'm always spraying. They're sisters. So I mean, this was the last litter that we thought we would really have to contain. My husband found a place and that will assist with this, and we're trying to get that done. But there's not enough time in the day for us old folk. We just can't find time to do everything. Like by 5 o'clock, I'm off. I mean, if you don't do that, you're working from 6, 7 o'clock in the morning until 8 or 9 at night. And now for me, I ran last night through, and I got, I think, an hour and a half of sleep if I put it all together. Because again, we had the two cats down, and for some reason, I've now turned into a veterinarian as well. Um, For one thing, two people, I get a kick out of people who jump on there and say, "Oh, you've got to run to the vet." Well, I don't know where they're from, but when we take ours to a vet, and we've always been able to do, their shots and so forth. But if they're sick and you run in there, whether it's regular hours or not, or so forth and so on, it's $700. But that's before they looked at the cat. Then the charges start adding up. So, when they treated, I think I've explained that our ghost is an asthmatic, a terrible asthmatic, um, and anaphylactic shock. I too have anaphylactic shock. So does my son. Uh, his are the fire ants, and anaphylactic shock usually means you swell up, which means all of your throat swells up. I'll make it simple, and you can't breathe. So you need an epinephrine, and epinephrine is adrenaline just in case you could look it up, but it's adrenaline. And your body makes its own adrenaline. And so if somebody's doing that or needs us, say an animal, go up and scare the shit out of them. It'll flood them with adrenaline, just almost as good as an EpiPen because they're so small. Other things work, but you can look them up. So I've almost become a veterinarian now because we have all these animals. And I wish I could figure out a way to do the inexpensive part. My husband's found, again, a place that will help. So we'll start doing that as soon as we have a minute. Um, and when once the pollen is over, because it's killing us. I see I'm almost done up here. I really didn't get much out. I really didn't see a lot. The shower in the Saudi desert was interesting. I thought, on, off, on. It was fun, on, off. And I literally have seen it right across the street, but not on my side of the street, vice versa. I've seen that. I've seen that in Chicago, and I've seen that here in different cities in Georgia that I've lived in. Yeah, it sounds like I move a lot. I kind of do. I just never got out of Georgia this last time. I wanted to. I would go back to San Antonio in a heartbeat. Well, no, actually, with all of the things that's going on, and with 11 million, God knows who coming in, no, I probably would not. Plus, it would be too far for me to see my grandchildren and my children. They're not going to run to Texas. I know my kids. It's just going to be me and Robert going, okay, we'll come to you. We used to come down here all the time to, and we would stay a week. That would be our vacation, and we'd tent out. Now I have to have a hotel. I'm not sleeping on that damn bed. And even then, you're in there with the UV light going, oh, good God. Yeah. I used to run hotels many times. I started out as an operator for La Quinta before people even knew if there was a La Quinta. Um, So, and back then you could get a room if you worked there or any part of it. You get a room for $8. So when they did the Malibu Grand Prix through San Antonio's downtown, and mind you, they did this once because they found out this was not a good idea. But I managed to, because I booked the rooms. That's what I did. So I booked me and some friends of mine, like my maid of honor. We were in a front-facing room right on the race course, and with the balcony and everything. And it was $8 a night. Did you know they were mad at us? But yeah, I took a whole block out for it. Yes, so no, you would think I'd be in trouble by now from somebody, but no, they didn't do the Grand Prix but once. And then I sent my son to Disneyland with my maid of honor, his godmother. So he was also at the Summer Olympics that were held in San Antonio. And if you ask my son where he's from, he says, I'm from San Antonio. And technically that's true, but he was born in Germany, in Heidelberg. And I worry now because they're going to send him back and forth to do TDYs here and there. I've done that. I did a year of that because so many, when they took the whack base and they phased it out, and I was one of the first women, we were the first company of women to not be wax. We were regular Army. Well, when they phased out the wax, it didn't occur to them at the time, I guess, that that was all their secretary and nursing personnel that they just, had cut out. And so every battalion, every base was screaming for secretaries and admin assistants who were just above secretaries. And that was me, was admin assistant. Basically, you ran the secretarial pool, if you can understand that time, well before computers. We had to have carbon paper. Xerox wasn't even out. That's how old I am. So you would get these things together, and they would fight over me because they didn't have too many people that had the skill. I still had shorthand, and nobody could beat me on a typewriter. Yeah, because I gave them the test. And if they had something smart to say, I did a test with them, and then I didn't hire. You don't argue with me. You don't argue with somebody who you might want as a future boss. I sure as hell wouldn't. And I didn't take it from anybody else. So I'm bossy. So let's see. I need to wrap this because I know my husband has been waiting to get down here. It's like a never ending thing with me. It's like it's shoved in front of a camera without preparation and then pulled off the camera without preparation because somebody's got to do something. I can't wait to get my studio done. So guys, I really need your likes. I need you to tickle the bell for me. Throw some comments in there. Let's use this medium while we can because we don't know what tomorrow will hold. We don't know that this medium is going to stay free, that it's going to stay uncensored. And it's technically not uncensored now because I've had things taken down. Our country's in trouble, guys. And it was in trouble when we were young hippies. The only thing that changed between when we were young hippies and now is hip huggers. And the fact that Congress are, well, mostly traitors. Your Oval Office definitely houses a traitor. Why would anybody want someone in office, the Oval Office, the highest seat in the land? Why would they want them in there when they're 81? When they've had 45 years. Actually, no, I think it's 49 years in the government as senator, vice president, president. Guys don't know where the freaking bathroom is. How can anybody say, "Oh, I voted for this guy"? Oh, screw you! You didn't. It didn't make it good. Damn that you did. Google it. Do your own research. Don't accept what I say as gold. Look it up. Find out what the Electoral College is. Find out when they put it there. Find out why they put it there. Find out what they're doing with it now. Well, I'll tell you real quick what they're doing with it. They're yucking you blind. I'm telling you. without dinner. So, you know, why are people sending money to these people? Why? It's illegal, by the way. The Danish, it's illegal for them to collect anything from anybody to run for any office in their land. They just run. It's a job. And they don't get money from everybody else to buy TV commercials. Knock it off. Knock it off. I'm tired of hearing people, wait. So really? Really? Read the Constitution, read the Bill of Rights, understand what those rights mean, and cut these people off at the knees. They're traitors, every blooming one of them. Every one of them. And of course, I do include the Oval Office in that statement. Never probably see that hatch because they say that he's too demanding to even go to court, but he can run the country. Yeah, it bites my butt every time I think about this crap. Our presidents, the first president's message, just circling around the conference, going, "Let me kill somebody, let me kill somebody, let me kill," because back in the day when this stuff started, as we called America back then, we didn't call it the United States. People don't know that either; they're not taught. The United States did not become the United States; it was America. Then we had the Civil War, right? Yeah, and Civil War. Now, there's several reasons why the South lost, but I won't get into that at the moment. But we had a Civil War. And suddenly we were the United States. Well, we're not united, people. When you have sanctuary cities full of 11 so many people that you don't know, period, who they are. You don't know if they're a terrorist or just a down on their luck Mexican. Come on. And they work very hard, by the way. And there are many people who have come as immigrants, as my own parents did. I'm technically United Kingdom myself. I think the red hair is a giveaway. But serve your country first. Not the country you think you're from or that you have proved you're from because you don't live there. You want to live there, go over there and do their laws. You don't change the laws of a country when you move there. I've been all around the world and everybody has different laws. And there's a reason for that because people are different all around the world. It's not your average normal next door neighbor when you move to Heidelberg, Germany, okay? And when you screw up, they do not mess around with jail time. You will be there the rest of your life. You need to know the laws, and you need to know the laws of our land, and you need to uphold them. And you need to make sure that the people that you were supposedly elected to uphold them do so. I don't know. I have no suggestions how to do any of the above. Again, social Woodstock. That's why I call it that. Everybody, put on your big girl pants, put on your big boy pants. Come on out here and see me. Show me where I'm wrong. Show me where I'm right. I like that part better. Huh? Come on out here. I mean, I dare you people. Get out here. We are not suckers. We are not cowards. We never were. We're not now. And we never will be. It's going to take a lot to silence us. So let's show them a little bit of that. And maybe there'll be a country for our grandchildren. And I have one that's 25. So I'm not looking at this as a long term project. You get me? You feel me? Huh? Yeah? Well, put your big girl pants on, put your big boy pants on, hit that like, hit that share, tickle that bell. Let's do a movement. We have before. It's time to do it again. I'm not the only one out here that disagrees with what's going on in this country. And I'm certainly not the only one who worries about their children or their grandchildren. Let's talk about this stuff. And I say that in a loose term. It's really not stuff. It's life or death. The stuff that they use to grow our food and so forth is killing our kids and their kids. Because my kid's going on 45, and my grandson, the oldest, is going on 25. No, I'm sorry, he just turned 25 a few weeks ago. So, yeah, let's get in here. Let's at least discuss it. It and everything else is going on. They found two different chambers in the Great Pyramid. They found a chamber under the Sphinx's right paw, exactly, by the way, where the prophet, the sleeping prophet he's called, Edgar Casey, said it would be. And for those of you who do not understand what a prophet is, Google Edgar Casey. Even for baldness, the guy's got he's got it. He'll tell you. My son lost his hair, and he blamed his mother because he said it was the maternal side. It's not. If it is, I'm doing a lot better than he was because I'm 20 years older. Thank you, Lord. I still have my hair. Again, with the thank you, Lord, there's a reason I say that. I believe in a supreme being, but I don't know which is the false church. And we were all told there'd be many, many, many false churches. So don't walk in there and hand them a new plane because you put $20 in the collection plate. You got a Bible? You got a Bible? If you don't, you can get one for free almost everywhere. Almost everywhere. You'll find one. Go to the store, get a Bible. They're not even expensive. Read the Bible. Believe it or not, there's a lot of it that's true. A lot that's true. I have checked it in and out and in and out because I believe in the paranormal. I believe in all kinds of weird stuff that aren't covered. Reincarnation. Turns out it is in the Bible. But you don't know that. If you just listen to that little preacher up there talking about hellfire and all that shit, what you gonna think? When you cross that veil, when you get on that rainbow bridge, do you really think that your life was so worthless that you deserve to be tortured for infinity? I don't. And I'm not perfect. I don't know anybody that's perfect. My husband's pretty close. I call him Magic Man. They call him MacGyver. Anyway, I see my time is up, so that means most of my lecture is up. So, for the love of God, one more time, it's entertainment purposes only. Hit the bell. Subscribe is free. If you don't like it, don't watch it, undo it. It takes 20 seconds. But give me a chance. Jump in here. I don't care if you do it while I'm live. You can do it when I'm not live. Just go in under search and pick up Lady Hippie. You can pick it up 2 months ago and put in whatever you want. I'll find you. I will answer those questions to the best of my ability, or I will send you to someone who can answer those questions. Or we will both go to somebody who can answer those questions, or all hundreds of us. I don't care. I would love to see thousands of us out here going, hey, it's supposed to be about love and light, not war. Let's find out why these people are treasonous. And let's take back this country if we do nothing else but talk about it. And talk about the fact that that is what's going on. That they aren't indoctrinating our kids, they're indoctrinating our grandkids, they're not teaching them. And I was lucky. As my husband says, I went to a resort and high school. He's got that about right because our high school was probably like 6 miles of buildings. I mean, it wasn't small at all. Our graduating class, mine was 6,000 people. And I went ahead and graduated early because I was already enlisted. In any event, I can see my time is up. So those of you who want to know more about the crazy hippie at the bar, send your comments, hit the like, just tickle the bell, subscribe for crying out loud. Again, it's free. You don't have to keep it. Real quick on those who don't understand about YouTube, download it, get a password. Don't do premium because that will cost you. YouTube is free otherwise, okay? Just download it, give your own password. That way nobody can use your account on YouTube. And then, of course, you can do a search, do Lady Hippie. By the way, I use the LY just like I did when I was younger, growing up as a hippie. The new hippies, if you call them that, they tend to want that label. Spell it with an IE, so they were wrong out the gate. But in the meantime, I got to go, guys. I miss all of you. Can't do this without you. Let's go kick some ass. Let's show them what we old hippies can do. Toodles.